Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Fort Knox Privacy and Security Podcast. I'm your host, Knox Fox, with an update on what's going on with the podcast. If you've been following the podcast at all this week, you probably noticed that two of the episodes have been re uploaded on some platforms, or on some platforms, we just resubmitted all the episodes. This is just for a small update. We were doing a rebrand where we were changing some of our cover art and getting ready for another year where we're actually going to be a bit more consistent with this. During the last year, I was not very consistent at all. I got about 2 episodes out and then I was super stalled on the third episode. So I want to try and revamp the podcast and have it so that we're releasing on a more consistent schedule. I want to start with monthly at the moment, and then we'll see if I can ramp it up from there or if monthly is just going to be where it's going to be. But in the current state of things, there's a lot of updates in the privacy community and security online. Lots of politics in the space, so there's so much to cover. And it's kind of just crazy how every week it seems like there's a bunch more stories that I could talk about. So I'm going to be slowly ramping up and getting this out there. So I look forward to having the podcast release and having you guys have some content to listen to. One thing that I do want to say is I am happy that we are now self-hosting. So I spent a lot of time this week getting off of a platform that was actually really good, like when it came to customer support and like getting into podcasting. But I wanted to get us onto podcasting 2.0, onto the Fediverse, and kind of experience a more open source version of podcasting. With that being said, we're now self-hosting on hardware that I own, and it was really fun to set up, and it kind of gets me practicing what I preach more, where instead of just paying a hosting provider, we're now hosting it ourselves, and I love it. So I hope you'll stick with us as we will cover lots of complex topics throughout this podcast. We already kind of briefed over, and I mean really briefed over in the early episodes. I want to kind of get a bit more in depth and make sure that I'm explaining things really good. So that's kind of why being on podcasting 2.0, I think it's going to be really good because I'll be able to get some good feedback from the audience. You guys will be able to reach out to me. There'll be lots of quick ways that you'll be able to message me and tell me what you think on Mastodon. But all my socials I'll be putting in this description. We're only going to be on Mastodon for right now, and I'm going to go from there and see what we do. But what I am planning to do is kind of almost redoing a bit of the topics in the future, not right away, but I want to make sure that I cover these correctly. The benefits of like having a password manager, why it benefits you in this day and age to have something like a password manager. VPNs, we'll be talking about VPNs and how a lot of the time it's kind of like the snake oil of the modern day. A lot of businesses sell you VPNs with the idea of it being anonymous, but privacy and anonymity are definitely not the same thing. What they're selling you is not realistic. You can't just turn on a VPN and then you're suddenly invisible online. It comes down to everything that you do, the behaviors that you take on and off the VPN. So it's kind of like the modern day snake oil. And I want to have a talk about that. Definitely want to be talking about all the changes online, the changes that are just kind of dramatic and like way over the top with age verification. Why we need age verify to go on any website is beyond me, and it's something that I'll be fighting every single day that I hear about that. I know I even wrote letters to local politicians and to government bodies in my country because I do not want to see this be the reality of the internet. I think the internet should stay a decentralized landscape where people don't have to ID just to visit online. Now, I know a lot of the internet is centralized. We have a few companies that run a majority of the internet. But the thing is, the internet is a bunch of different computers communicating together to make the internet. So, in a way, it was meant to be decentralized. This new dystopian version of the internet where only 3 or 4 companies have majority stake in all of the websites on the internet is crazy to me, especially with how the internet, just a bunch of different computers all around the world communicating to each other. It's something that we're gonna have to push and talk about self-hosting. Self-hosting is definitely something that I think more people should dabble in. And then just things like getting off of major platforms. So this year I have completely left Windows behind. I have it only on my work laptop because it's not my choice. And I think it's amazing. It was quite the leap and something that I did not think I would be able to do, but I took the leap, and Linux is in such a good place now. Like, the fact that I barely notice that I'm on a Linux operating system, I also play games. So that's something that I thought was going to really hurt me. But the efforts that Valve has put together with the Steam Deck, Steam OS, and just Proton is amazing. And we're not talking Proton Mail. We're talking about Proton as in the Steam protocol that helps run games on Linux. And this is definitely the year of Linux. Like, I have put my computer on it, fully jumped. I'm not even dual booting anymore. I'm not feeling the strains of it. There's only like 2 games I can't play anymore. They were made by Riot Games. They're kernel level anti cheat, and I kind of don't think I want kernel level anti cheats anymore. Like, why do we need a cheat protection device to have so much power that they are at the kernel level? That is absurd to me, and that's something that I'm kind of glad I got away from. So I want to definitely talk about Linux and my Switch, which OS or distribution flavor of Linux I chose, and if it's right for you. And there's even like simple distros. Like this year, I had to get my father onto Linux. So he's on a Linux Mint distro. And I did that because his hardware did not have a TPM 2.0 chip, which is needed to upgrade to Windows 11. And because he didn't have that chip, we had no choice because he didn't want to pay for new hardware. He didn't want to get another computer. He just wanted his computer to work. And how did I get it to work? I put him on Linux because I didn't want the danger of him being on a non-supported, no security update Windows 10. Because once they get rid of the security updates, that is going to be a huge target for people. Anyway, so that's just a little scope of what's coming up this year. I'm going to do my best to stay on top of this podcast, and I really hope you come and enjoy the journey with me. Message me on Mastodon, comment, like, and tell me what you liked, what you disliked. I'm on multiple platforms. I'm on Spotify, YouTube. YouTube, there's comments. So I'm going to be looking out there, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your experiences and privacy in your country. What pushbacks are you finding? What kind of discoveries have you made on your privacy journey? And I think this is a cool kind of way that we can have a privacy and security journey together where we go over some really cool things. And I have a lot of cool things I want to talk about. So I'm really excited to get back on the air. And I hope you guys are too. Thank you. And I will see you soon.